Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. Today, I am so grateful that God gives us this terrific Tuesday that you and I can look into His Word to find out what does He have to say to us. Well, we find ourselves picking up again at a portion of the text out of Acts, the 23rd chapter. Now, we find out in the 21st chapter how Paul finds himself in an awkward situation. Now, in the 23rd chapter, there's a plan and there's a plot to kill him. Well, that next morning, we find out there were a group of Jews who gathered themselves together, and they bound an oath that they were not going to eat nor drink until they have killed Paul. In essence, they said, we got a conspiracy. It's more than 40 of them. All of them are making their way. They have decided in their mind, we must get rid of this man. But Paul's nephew, his sister's son, he heard of their plan, and he went to the fortress where Paul was, and he called for the Roman officers, and he said to them, take this young man to your commander. And as they do that, Paul begins to hear. They began to share from his nephew. He told them what the Jews were plotting to do and how they took a high council and how they made up fictitious stories and they were coming to get them. So Paul is now sent to Caesarea. Oh, he escapes it. They get 200 persons, 200 soldiers ready to leave at 9 o'clock to take him, to put him into the place of safety. You know, I think it's pretty amazing. This lets us see how God must really have his hand on Paul. Paul finds himself being incarcerated, being in a jail. His nephew conveniently hears about a plot to kill him. He goes and reports it to the jailer. The jailer realizes that he cannot lose this, quote unquote, this incarcerated person, cannot lose this prisoner. So he is now moved. Isn't it amazing how God moves and wonders in ways in which you'll never understand? Well, God has moved so many of us just like he did the Apostle Paul in here. He moved us right out of harm's way. We didn't see it coming, but someone else saw it coming. They heard from God. God told them to relocate them. God told them to move them. Many times you and I must remind ourselves that God allows things to happen for us to be repositioned so that he can position us, that we can be of a greater defense of the gospel. This text begins to remind us how Paul is now finding himself in the safety of God's arms like he would always be. You know, Paul does something, and he says something so powerful. In this text, he says, I will hear your case as he stands before those who are governing him. And the governor ordered all of them to keep him in Herod's headquarters. He made sure that he was safe, that nobody could harm him. Have you ever thought about it in your life, how God sheltered you, protected you, so nobody could harm you, and now you're safe in the arms of God? May God bless you. May heaven smile upon you. Take the Lord with you everywhere you go, and I'll talk with you again on tomorrow.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.